Hello there. Um, just turning off the local monitor stream I have so I don't get feedback. How are you doing? I said I would do possibly another live stream tonight, and here we are. Um, so a couple people in the chat. Uh, the professor. I can't wait to see what the automation looks like. Yeah, I showed a bit of it yesterday, but I'm gonna show more of it today. Um, and now that I've actually had a night to kind of experiment with it a bit, and um, and then I mentioned in the chat that it's rough, but it works. And Wiley Site said, yeah, it's better than the alternative, which I'll show that as well. And I'll explain further, but Wiley Site's going to be adding to it, but we'll talk about that in a moment. And thanks about the music. I wanted something kind of mellow and celestial. I don't know what to call it for the stream. Oh hey, Mix Effect crashed again. That happened yesterday as well. Let me restart that because I need that to do things on the stream. Yeah, so I have two Seestars running again. I'm gonna, similar to last night, I'm gonna run two of them. One will be automated, one will be manual. I'm not sure exactly how automated one of them will be to begin with, but we'll see. And this one of them, of course, did its horizontal calibration correctly. The other one did not, even though they were pointing at exactly the same guide star or aligned star. But you can see, okay, there we go. And I need to change this because I'm covering up one of the telescopes. So let me change this. And I'll move myself over here. And maybe because this view is really about the telescopes, let me change. Oh, actually, I can go way down here. I forgot. It's the wrong perspective. So I'm going to box one. I'm going to shrink myself even more. And I'll put myself in the corner. All right. There we go. A little bit better. So you can see the two telescopes I have going. And yeah, they're both pointing at the same guide star, aligned star, and so let me get going with them. Yeah, so let's switch to the kind of the multiple view to start off with. Let me see, where's the app? So yeah, again, I need to run a stronger Wi-Fi into the backyard because I consistently have problems back there. But anyway, hold on. Okay, I lost my browser window there. Yeah, so actually, so maybe the first thing, let me get the one Seestar pointing, the one on my telescope pointing at a target so I can start getting that doing something. I had thought maybe I would have both of them automated tonight, but I'm only going to have one of them automated because ideally they would be on the same network and they're not at the moment. So let me see what objects. I might actually try. Wait. Okay. Were these from all yesterday? Okay, the Bubble Nebula is too low. Crescent Nebula might be okay. Actually, maybe let me take a step back and go to the computer view. So the what do you call it? And actually, I wanted to go to Stellarium. Yeah, I was gone much of the day. I was gone much of the day, and so I've been I quickly set up things this evening to get the live stream in place. Now, one thing, if you saw yesterday's live stream, I have a custom custom horizon now in Stellarium, and so I can, with a higher degree of accuracy, figure out what is visible. And I think I want to try something over here. And what did I look at yesterday? With the non-automated Seestar. I had Trifid but that was late. The Bubble Nebula, the Crescent Nebula. Some galaxies, NGC 5566. What else did I put something on my list yesterday. Oh no, it was the Bubble Nebula. That was something. Wiley Sight also did the well. It was because of him that I ended up doing the custom horizon, but his looks like Antarctica. Mine looks like a sliver of Antarctica. It's pretty brutal. And yeah, I need to take my stash of Raspberry Pis and make an access point. Because the Wi-Fi, like, it'll be good until it's not, and then it's terrible. Like, I was trying to update the All Sky camera, and it was struggling. So some of these targets are going to be a bit more challenging. We could try. See, I did the Ring Nebula yesterday, and there's a galaxy in the field of view, but nothing really showed up. Like, even though I let it go for a while, so I think that's going to be a struggle. So I'm tempted to see if, I keep revisiting targets because I just need a lot more data on them. So I'm going to try, the Crescent Nebula, which is my old standby, but at least I'm doing something productive. Although this galaxy grouping, let me look at what Crescent is. See, it's obstructed behind a building, so I think I'll just do this NGC 5566. Oops. And that should be good for a bit. So we'll go for that for now. And then we get to the automation. So I'm going to switch to the phone view. You can see it tracking, and then I'll kind of get things queued up for the automation. So I'll explain the whole thing once I get it up and running. Let me make sure I have everything running locally. I don't have it running. Let me start this. Oh, I do have that part running, and I will go start that up. Okay. Great. Perfect. All right. So this looks like it's ready to go. This one did horizontally calibrate, so it should just start immediately getting exposure. Now, just like yesterday, I kind of aligned this manually because I want to get this this grouping of galaxies in the frame. And otherwise it kind of, I want it really centered in this kind of area in between those galaxies. So we'll get that going. And as soon as that's centered, we can kind of get to the scheduler, or the, what do you call it? The, get to the automation. And, oh. Let me, hold on a second. I need to restart something. Okay. Did I mess this up? Please bear with me while I... Oh. Hold on a second. Hold on. I'm basically live coding here, off screen. Okay, great, perfect. All right, so this is aligned, so I'm going to go start that, and let's see if there's any comments before I kind of dive into the automation. Nope. So what are we? Okay. So let me wait until it gets the first frame on this one, which it looks like it has. Yep. And see, you can see the galaxies are all in the frame that I wanted. Granted, these are kind of faint, but theoretically it'll be a little bit better than last night. I think the skies here are a little incrementally crisper, and the moon isn't. The moon is, the moon hasn't risen yet. It's about to rise. Like you can see right here, it's just below the horizon right now. But it'll rise shortly. Have I tried 20 and 30-second exposures? No, I haven't. I've been meaning to, and I wanted to do it when I was looking at a target that didn't have much field rotation. But all the targets near, because of, I think, partly because of the sky at my house and the obstructions, a lot of targets tend to have massive field rotation. And so when I had the telescope set up facing to the west, there wasn't much field rotation for some of the things. And so I was thinking that would be a good candidate to try out the 20 and 30-second exposures. Alternatively, I've wanted to also test out equatorial mode, and try 20 and 30-second exposures with that, but I have not as of yet. So this is running, and so let's talk about the automation. So this has been out there for a bit. It's basically it's like a Python script that it was, I think I've talked about it on stream, that Kai with Seestar wrote, and there's kind of a community, there's a Discord, there's a Facebook group where people discuss, kind of using this and other things that they've kind of come up with. But the interface is kind of a bit rough. I mean, so you've got this, here's the code in GitHub. And so, it's okay. I mean, I shouldn't say it's okay. It's great, but you have to like run some development tools. If you're a developer, you probably have a computer that's set up with the requirements. If you're not, it can be a bit of a struggle. There's a one-click kind of package, basically a self-contained executable that's being worked on, and it's kind of right now it's by the community. Right now, it's on a Google Drive, and but I have a feeling it'll kind of get wider distribution before too long. But it's kind of like it's a very new thing, but I think that'll help a lot of people who you know it'll make it more accessible. Now the problem still is when you run it, you get this. You get a you can see my commits here. You get kind of this kind of command line output, and the API comes with or the repository comes with these kind of files, which if you've used API tests or something, like if you're a developer worked kind of in that field, these are familiar with you. It's like Postman and stuff. But again, it's not super accessible. So like I can check the state of my Seestar here. Oh, I need to. So see, it's showing me details about my Seestar and like the temperature and kind of all this stuff, which if you've done this kind of thing before, it's, it's not the most user friendly, but you can kind of manage, but it's certainly kind of a little not the most accessible thing at the moment. But again, it's like very early days. And then it has features like scheduling it supports mosaics, and so it will because it has a lot of commands where it'll tell the telescope where to go point, and to start taking photos and to do an autofocus. But the problem, again, it's in the same structure. So you have like start mosaic, and you specify like this string that doesn't, and on this particular tool, it doesn't even fully show you everything. So it's like a little kind of, it's kind of rough. But you can create a schedule, get a schedule, start mosaic. You can add kind of delays where you can wait until a specific time. You can wait until a timer. You can trigger an autofocus. And then when you're done, you can have a schedule. And so you can kind of add these steps incrementally to your to this API, and then it will go off and do it, which is cool. But again, it's not the most user friendly. So yeah, I showed this on stream. If you were watching yesterday or watched that stream, you'll see it. But basically, what I ended up doing, and when I say I ended up doing, so I had gotten this API, and I was like, that's cool, and but it's not that accessible, and I kind of didn't want to mess around with kind of those text fields, and so I kind of ended up writing a web interface for it in Python as well, and it's very simple, but it has a lot of the same things, except it has a field where you can enter target name, the coordinates, how many panels you want, like if you want a 2x2, what percentage to overlap, and then how long the total exposure, and then gain, and some other things here. And it also has a schedule where you can go turn on wait until, you can wait for. So like it's the API calls wait for, but I think it's more like, I've wanted to call it kind of delay, because it's really not waiting until a specific time, which is what wait until is. Wait for is basically it's delay. It's waiting for a certain number of seconds. So that way, if you want to do several actions, you can kind of space them out. And it has an autofocus. Oh, this isn't. Sorry, that isn't. And then shut down. And then it has like this target. It has the same mosaic thing, but this adds it to a schedule. So you can kind of build up a series of things. Now, right now, the scheduler is stop, but if you click toggle scheduler, it'll, again, this web interface. If you didn't hear me talking about this yesterday, I literally wrote this yesterday afternoon. Um, and now the cool thing is I kind of shared that just before yesterday's live stream. And so a lot of this wasn't covered on the live stream because it was happening while I was on the live stream last night. But I kind of was like on the Discord for this community. I was like, oh, here's this thing I wrote, and would anybody be interested in it? Should I commit it to the repo or do like a pull request, or should I create a separate repo? What's the interest? Well, several people wanted it, and so someone who's been on in the on a number of the live streams, Wiley's site, he he was he was the first person to get his hands on the code, and he's actually made some fixes to it and some additions to it. So like this autofocus thing, well, it's not this autofocus, but like there's an autofocus column here because if you look at the mosaic, it had it basically so a mosaic, it kind of takes a series of images, and the way the API was implemented, it doesn't autofocus on before each panel. It triggers an autofocus on the Seestar. And the problem is if it fails, it completely fails that panel. So if you have like a 2x2 panel and then like the third one fails on autofocus, it just completely ignores it and moves on to the next one. And if you've like manually set your autofocus like that, it ignores that and just does its own autofocus. So Wiley's site added the ability to turn that off. So he's made some additions, and he also made some fixes to the API related to, there was some status on the scheduler where it started and it stopped, and then there was a stopping state, but then it would get stuck in that state and it wouldn't fully stop. So he fixed that. So all this code is kind of in the same branch, and I'm planning on submitting a pull request, but I think I need to bring up something first, or look at something first. But yeah, so this is the interface. Now I'm going to set up a schedule on here, but I want to show you first off what Wiley Site's already been doing with this today, because he's out there running a Seestar right now, and he created this schedule, so you can see what he did. He basically had it in case like there was an issue with one of the steps. He has it like wait until a specific time, then start a mosaic, but it's just a 1x1. So it's basically he's imaging a target and then waiting and then imaging another one, and so on, to kind of basically run all the way until 4 a.m. and then shut down the telescope. So it's this kind of gives you an idea of what you can do. So you can basically ahead of time schedule out your whole night with the telescope. Now, there's definitely, it's again the same thing as with the API. It's still kind of in the early days. I'm going to submit a pull request to get this into the main source code, and I hope that this kind of gets maybe bundled into the executable, so that way for people who want to just get up and running quickly, they can just get that self-contained executable, run it. They'll have the API. It automatically looks for a Seestar on the network, connects to it, just like you can see here. When I started it earlier, it says, it looked for seestar.local, which is the default kind of host name, and it connected. And so, and the executable has a way where you can basically specify multiple Seestars in a configuration file. And so multiple configuration, multiple Seestars in a configuration file, and there's a kind of a default, and then the ability to have like it read an external configuration. But again, it's very early days, but it seems to be kind of progressing quickly. So that's the current state of it. Some of the objects have very tight windows and of availability, which is why I wanted to make sure if one failed, it didn't throw off the whole schedule. So yeah, because of like how I have obstructed skies, Wiley Site has the same similar issues, and so he has it all set up where it only will run M71 starting at 11. So even if like if you didn't put these kind of pauses in there, if like this failed, this failed, this failed, it might start doing M25 before it's even, maybe above the trees or something, which is not what you would want. So by kind of doing it this way, it will kind of, even if something fails out, it'll kind of pause. Or like if some clouds kind of move and it's not able to image anything, but then the clouds go away, it can continue on with the rest of the schedule, which is pretty handy. And you can see he set it with the new field that he added to turn off autofocus, because that required he put it on the front end, but he also had to make a change on the back end. Yeah, and you can see because like the wait untils are half an hour out, but the total time is 1500 seconds, so it's only 20 minutes or 25 minutes. So then that gives padding for it to kind of move and stuff. So everything just keeps moving, which is awesome. Like this wouldn't have been possible before. And I mean, once the API came out, it was possible. And then this schedule that Wiley Site created was completely done in the web UI. And so, yeah. So let me actually try to do a schedule here. So what I end up doing is, actually what I'm going to do is I'll show you the ones I did last night, just to show what it kind of looks like. But if you look, like these were the panels last night. I did the North American Nebula, and I did a 2x2 panel, and see it names you when you put the name here in this target name, it uses that for when it's saving, which is actually kind of nice because then it keeps the panels separated, as opposed to if it was like in this case NGC 7000, and if you had all the panels kind of clumped together in one directory, when you're pulling it into into Serial to process it, it's kind of a little confusing as far as what is where. But it basically I had given it the name NGC 7000 2x2, and then since it was I just did that as the name. It's just a name, and then it appended this kind of 22. This one is 12. So it's like the different dimensions. So it's like 1 1 1 2 2 1 and 2 2 to show kind of which one of the panels it's imaging. So this is the final result. There's also subframes of course. So if you want to process it separately with Serial, you can, or other software. But otherwise, you take these kind of individual panels and you combine them together, and there's software to do that. I'll probably show that. I might do that on a live stream. Just why not? Or I'll do a video about it to kind of show. But like there's this one software called that a lot of people use called ASTAP, which it kind of looks at the stars in each frame, and then it has a database of stars that you download, and it, depending on like what kind of telescope you have, and then it can kind of do plate solving and figure out where each panel should be placed, and then it kind of assembles them into this into a bigger frame, and you can kind of see the result of it. There was this showed up on the stream last night, but it was on this Seestar Reddit. This was, yeah, here it is. It was a 5x10 mosaic. I only did a 2x2 mosaic, but this is a 5x10 panel mosaic of the North American Nebula. And you can see it's like, if I bring it up in Stellarium, you get very little of the North American Nebula in the field of view. Let me see. So you can see, yeah, like look at how little you get in the frame of view. Like, this is the North American Nebula, and on the Seestar you'd only get this little bit. But by using a mosaic, you're able, this person was able to get the whole thing and parts of this nebula too. Now, this is what kind of the raw assembly looks like, where it kind of assembled them, and so they just kind of cropped out a rectangle out of here. But as you can see, it lets you cover like a very large area. Yeah. I tried 4 objects last night, got good data on one of the 4, but because the earlier ones failed, I didn't have it wait, so it just kind of pushed to the next object. Yeah, so that's why the wait fors are there. So what keyboard shortcut I use? I love it because it's like I have muscle memory, and then I forget which. Yeah, it's G for ground. Just like I do A for atmosphere, because like it that way, like if the moon's visible, it shows dimming from like atmospheric reasons, or even during the day. If you turn off atmosphere, you can see, like, basically I'll turn off atmosphere and ground, and that way I can see everything, no matter what time of day it is. Like, it'll just show me everything, like the whole celestial sphere, because it like literally turns off completely the ground, not just the kind of whatever horizon you have. It just completely removes the ground. Yeah, turning off the atmosphere is handy, because otherwise, like if I have the atmosphere on, it kind of dims it, which if you're doing visual astronomy, like I think that makes a lot of sense. But if you're doing, and it might kind of give you an idea of what you're up against with the moon or light pollution. But for the astrophotography, where you're imaging things a lot fainter, I usually turn off that, because otherwise it ends up kind of making things dimmer, and a lot of times the objects will not even show up, because it's like, oh, well, you can't see this fainter thing because the moon's up, and it's like, but I'm taking a photograph of it, so I know I can get it, I can image it. So yeah. So as you can see, these mosaics cover are pretty cool. So let me actually try to figure out what I can do tonight, and what I'm going to start. So let me pull up Stellarium here, and I need to turn the ground back on because I can see how little I can actually see. And maybe I'll just have it. Oh, before I get to that, but yeah, so here's the 4 panels. Basically, I kicked this off, and each panel was, like if you look at the app, if you look at the mosaic, it has total session time, and that's pretty much the complete time for the entire panel. So if you say 3,600 seconds is the total session time, and you have a 2x2 panel or 2x2 mosaic, 4 panels. It's basically it'll spend 15 minutes on each panel. And that includes some of the autofocus time, and it also includes like any failed frame. So if you're only getting half the frames, you'll only get half of 15 minutes. So yesterday on this mosaic, I did 4 hours total, 14,400 seconds, and it got so that would theoretically give it an hour per panel, but like this one only got 35 minutes. I think, but the moon was out, and I have terrible light pollution anyway, so 36 minutes. This one is 36 minutes, and I think the first one got like 42 minutes, 45 minutes. So the first one had a lot better success. But still, like in the case of the North American Nebula, especially from where I am, I need to do more with that target. And so I don't know. I don't want to stay up as late as I did last night. I'm not going to be live streaming for 4 hours today. I'm not going to do it. I'm telling myself. But I do want to get more data of it or from it, so I might run it for a bit. But what other targets did I look at yesterday? Okay, so I got the Ring Nebula, and as you can see, I was trying to get this this other galaxy, and it really didn't show up, which was kind of frustrating. That's interesting. I guess I did some manual exposures of the North American Nebula, but I guess on this one I didn't do that much. Actually, these are saved ones. Let me look on the Seestar itself. So this is the iPad app, and it's talking to the NGC 7000, and you can see the names of these. This is the one of the mosaic panels, and you can see here's the subdirectory. So I got 206 subs. I should have gone to this view because this really shows you everything. On the telescope, I tried to get a picture at some point of a comet, but maybe should I try the Bubble Nebula? Actually, let me do that just for grins. So the Bubble Nebula is so there's different ways you can do it. You can have it you can enter the coordinates and it'll kind of go to it, or in this screen you can put in -1 for the right ascension and declination, and that's kind of a special value where basically it just won't move the telescope. So if you point it at the target, it'll just stick with it. But we're not going to do that right now. I want to do NGC. What did I say I wanted to do? Was it the Bubble Nebula I wanted to do? I think, or was it the Crescent? Let me see if the Bubble Nebula is even visible. Oops. So I'm going to turn off this, and then the Bubble Nebula. Okay. And it might be visible. Some of these targets, they end up being kind of a little iffy. Yeah, this one should remain visible, so we'll go for it. Although I think I might manually go to it. So let's go NGC 7635. No, sorry, I'm going to do it through the interface. Mostly because I'm not sure if it's above the horizon. I need to redo this kind of horizon I have, but let's try it. Is it? It's still pointed at the alignment star. So, did I do the bubble with this one? I did the Pelican Nebula, but some of these aren't super visible. What was the bubble again? 7635. 7635. Okay. So it's pretty low, but thanks to this horizon thing, it's gotten it lets me kind of get much closer. Oh, and the other thing that I did yesterday, I on the other telescope, I had it also look at this. Oh, by the way, so this is something I've noticed. I don't know how long it's been in the Seestar, but like I do see satellites go through it. Um, the eagle's starting to become visible. Yeah, unfortunately, it's still after midnight for me. Um, it's still after midnight. Actually, I can look at it. M16, the Eagle Nebula. Yeah, see, you can see like a whole lot of nothing. Um, and there, it would become visible. Yeah, actually, after 12:30, it becomes visible. Unfortunately, there's a building right here. SH 246. Okay. Let's see what that looks like. Oh, it's just ahead of the Eagle. So it would be visible a little bit earlier for me, but still, yeah, it won't be visible for until after midnight. Unfortunately. But yeah, so let's go back to the bubble and let's go back to right now. And let me go look at the Seestar I just pointed. It says it's identifying, which usually means it's failing. um, let me stop. Yeah, like there's some interesting things in that area, I think, but unfortunately I can't see any of it right now because of obstructions. Oh, yeah, see, this is why I didn't want to have it go automatically because I wasn't convinced that it was actually visible. So let's just move to actually let me go ahead and try something here. I'm going to try NGC, my favorite, NGC 6888, the Crescent Nebula. And that should totally be visible right now. So I am going to get these coordinates and I'm going to go ahead and just try to schedule it here. And so this is NGC 7000, or sorry, 6888. And I'm going to do a 1x1 because it's just a 1x1 mosaic. And the declination is 38.353311. 100% overlap because there's only one total session time. Let's do 15 minutes. 80. Use light pollution, don't autofocus. So let me, actually, I didn't mean to do any of that. So let's wait 15 minutes. We'll wait till 10, 22, 55. So I'll wait for 5 minutes. Submit that. So now I have a wait for. Yeah, I changed it to 5 minutes, so hopefully I can get it together in 5 minutes. So 5 mosaic, crescent. Oh, your schedule. Yeah, sorry. I was when you said schedule, but it's your schedule's about to kick off in 5 at 2300. So Mosaic is going to be NGC 6888, and I'm just going to name it one by one. I could name it something else, but I'm just going to name it that. Declination is 38.4257. And the thing I messed up yesterday was the declination, or no, the right ascension, because I had it as I had it like it needs, it's a, yeah, hold on. Let's see. Let me look up something here real quick. Actually, let me look this up on the NGC 688, NGC 6888 crescent. Okay. Okay. So that is right. But the 20 hours, 13 minutes and 0 seconds. Okay. What was it? What did I say? It was 20 hour, 13 minute. Right now it wants decimal and let's see, what is it? It's sorry, right ascension degrees. But this says it's 303. Basically I ran into an issue yesterday where it ended up kind of miscalculating kind of where it was supposed to be pointing, and that wasn't the software's fault. It was that I entered it incorrectly. What is that? 303. What was it? Crescent nebula. Sorry, I'm 20 hours. It's 12 minutes and 7 seconds. 20 hours, 12 minutes and 7 seconds. 12 minutes and 7 seconds. And then let's see. 21. Oh, this isn't even working. Let me see. Sorry, I'm having some technical difficulties trying to, or computational difficulties. Degrees to degrees. Doesn't help me. Again, why did it end up? Sorry, calculator. What was it? It was 20 hours, 12 minutes, 7 seconds. And of course, I messed up my schedule, so I'm going to have to reset it. Why does it... I guess I'm really confused on why... Does that even make sense? 20 hours would be 20 hours. That doesn't make sense. That's wrong. Let me see. Oh, that's what I can do. You know what? I wonder if this is what I can do. Yeah. Okay. This is what I'm going to do. Let's see. So I've got to clear out this schedule because I created the schedule to wait until, but I'm the time has now passed, so I'm going to clear that out. Let me check. Okay, so you just slew the telescope to the first object. Oh, okay. Hour, minute to decimal hours. The only thing it does not handle negative. Okay. Yeah, clear schedule. That would be handy. And like I was saying, this thing is definitely a work in progress. So here's where you can kind of do this manually through this API. So you can go in and create a new schedule, and that will clear out. That should clear out. Yeah, it cleared out the schedule that was there. So I am going to run this just after 11 p.m. So I'm going to go wait until, let's do 23:0. I'll do 23:05 since I had issues last time. And we'll go mosaic and again crescent. 1 by 1. And let me get the minus 56.74318, and one panel declination was 38.4257. One panel, 100% overlap. Total session time 900 seconds, which is 15 minutes. Gain is 80. Use light pollution filter and don't use autofocus. So theoretically this should work. Now the scheduler is stopped, so I have to start the scheduler. Let me go. I just wanted to kind of show what the API looks like, where it's saying, okay, I got all this stuff. It couldn't play solve. I'm going to wait until, etc. So, by toggling the scheduler, and again, it's early days, so we're going to make it more user friendly. Yeah, so now that should be good to go. And I'm going to go double check this, that I entered the right thing, that I entered the correct thing. So let me look up, got a lot of windows here. Yeah. Every day, let's see. I am looking at, okay. So open this, and the decimal, where does it say the crescent is? I'm just double checking my numbers before it kicks off. It says 20 hours, 12 minutes, and 7 seconds. That's not what I wanted. Yeah, that doesn't. Oh, okay. So let me look at, yeah. Yeah, sorry. It's anyway, we'll see if it works. Um and yeah, so this is basically queued up. It will run in 4 minutes. The scheduler is running, and yeah. And I can go pull up the Seestar app. And hold on a second, yeah, I was just checking something. Let me see. Just cross-checking that I got the numbers right. I like the names. Also known as the Ear Nebula. Yeah, so it's 303. I think that's all right. We will find out. Although if it ends up failing, I know why it failed. So here is, let me bring up the Seestar, and I can go, so you can see where it's pointing right now. Because I tried the bubble nebula, but it wasn't visible, so now it's just kind of pointed somewhere. So you should, as soon as the schedules kicks off in 3 minutes, 2 minutes, it should start moving. I'm going to pause and take a drink of water. But yeah, I think I want to do like a standalone video about all this. But, oh, you know, this was something I ran into yesterday with the North American Nebula. So there's something, yeah, I can believe that because I think I ran into that. Actually, what I ran into was the decimal degrees were, or the declination was correct, but the right ascension was wrong from what the Seestar had. So we're down to less than 2 minutes. And so basically once the schedule, less than a minute. So once the schedule kicks off, you'll see it over here. And theoretically, if it all goes well, you'll start seeing the red box, or yeah, the red box and blue box will start moving to kind of go to the target. Yeah. So fingers crossed that it'll actually work. The suspense needed a drum roll. Oh, and after the live stream yesterday, I actually got Twitch streaming working, but I decided, because I don't have like a chat overlay for Twitch on this stream. So see, there we go. And notice like the red box kind of went out of the field of view. And so actually, let me see if I can bring up. It's really, I'm really kind of confused at where it thinks it's going. So it thinks it's going to, like there's something about the coordinates that seem a little kind of strange. 6, 4444 and 61 345833, and that's what it thought, which doesn't. What did I end up entering? Yeah, I don't understand why it. Yeah, I think I know what I did wrong, I think. So let's look at what it's doing. Plates all failed. Where is it pointing? And unfortunately, I don't think I can move this while it's trying. Where did it even go? That's so bizarre. It went somewhere. Let me bring up the again, nothing like a live demo. So it's the telescope on the right, and this image is behind. So it'll yeah, and it's strange because I'm running into the same issue. Yeah, very strange. The mosaic. So yeah, the coordinates seem to differ. Is it just the right ascension? Is it the right ascension and declination, or is it both? Okay, so you can see it's pointing. I think that's generally the direction it's supposed to be pointing. More towards the north. But this is the one that's over here. Declination is different. That is so weird. Well, what I'm going to do is, if this fails again, I'm going to manually, because one of the nice things about this is it will tell you where it's going. Okay, it failed. So I'm going to stop. And we're going to manually go to NGC. Let me see where it thinks it is. Oh. Did I? It thinks it's at the Bubble Nebula. Did I completely botch that? No. Did it even move? Let me get NGC, or maybe because its plates all failed. Crescent and let me look at the coordinates I put in, which is so bizarre. I put in, that is what it said I was going to, is not what I entered. So bizarre. Hold on. Okay, this, and I'll go ahead and go to this, and I can look at the, so you can see it should start saying, go to failed, scheduler stopped. It should start going. Let me resize this so you can see it. Oh, it says plate solve succeeded. And where does it say it is? So this is kind of perplexing. Okay, so that succeeded when I manually did it. Again, these are the early days, very rough, needless to say the least. So the schedule I put in, oh, Oops. um, I think I put in the coordinates for the... Yeah, I put in the wrong coordinates. So, I think I put in the wrong coordinates. Let me try this again. 3933. And so you can schedule a mosaic, but you can also just do a one-shot kind of mosaic. So I'm going to basically clear that out. And we can go look over here. Look over here. Go to the interface. And if I load this, it's gone. So if I just go to mosaic, I can do a single shot mosaic that runs immediately. X1 max X. So then the coordinates I had are different. It was, let me just double check I'm pointing at the right thing. Not the bubble, I want to look at the crescent. So let's look at that. We will go, go back to this. And yeah, so let's look at these coordinates. We want to go the right ascension. Oh, wait. Sorry. 30. Did I flip them? The right ascension and the declination. Declination is that 38 number. So this is 38 point 38.23933. One panel. And then this was minus 56.74318. And then 100% overlap, 900 seconds, 80. It's only the third time I've done this. Use light pollution filter and go. And so this should immediately run. So it's going to that target. Wait. Wait. Where is it? Where did it go? Let's see where it went. So it's now doing horizontal calibration. Okay. First calibration frame. Second calibration frame. And third calibration frame. That's positive because this one didn't calibrate, unlike the other one, which is still going after half an hour. And I'll look at that in a moment. And so that is, did it end up succeeding or failing? Maybe I entered did I enter the wrong numbers? So that's a separate thing. I have a list of some things I want to do with this web front end, but the first order of business is to get it merged in with the main repository. Which okay. It is like it's running the exposure, but it's slow. I mean, not the device itself, it's the Wi-Fi is slow. As soon as this gets here. Okay, it's drifting, of course. Let me actually see where it thinks it's pointing. It's pointing at the Crescent Nebula, so So maybe that actually worked, those coordinates. Yeah, it's doing that weird drifting thing, which isn't a function of the automation, it's a function of the Seestar. It's very strange. Yep, okay. So it settled down and it got a frame because the count went up here. And it's, yeah, you can kind of start seeing the crescents right here. As soon as this as soon as it loads the next frame, I'm gonna switch to the view with the other Seestars so we can look at the progress of that. Yeah, there we go. You can see it. It's right there. So I don't know if that was 100%. So I'm going to let that run for a bit. But you kind of see the idea is you basically enter the coordinates. One of the things that Wiley Site and I had talked about is it's kind of finicky about the coordinates. Like like I'm in Stellarium, I have decimal degrees, but a lot of times when you're looking things up, it ends up quoting you. It ends up quoting you kind of right ascension and declination. I mean, it does hours, minutes, and seconds, and so you have to convert that. And so we're gonna address that where you can kind of enter those coordinates and it'll do the right thing. So there's that. But let's go back to this and let me switch to the multi-camera view. I'm gonna move this over here and move this off screen and move. And you can see, okay, auto go to. Yeah, so it seems like it is running correctly now. And we will switch to the view of all the different stuff that's going on tonight. So you can see on this one, which isn't automated, and I can't automate this one tonight because it's on the wrong network and I don't have a device that can control it. So I need to get both Seestars on the same network so then I can get them going. But yeah, I think this is actually doing better than last night with these galaxies. This is just kind of a little cluster of galaxies. NGC 5577, NGC 5566, quite a few other ones, but you can see it's starting to get more data, but you can also see there's like massive gradient on that image, like that red stripe across is kind of rough. But that one already has half an hour of data, so I need to start thinking about moving to a different target. Now, luckily I can pull this up in Stellarium and we can check this out. Oh, and if you're watching and haven't liked the video, feel free to like it. It does help get these long kind of live streams to other people. Let me see. What was I looking for? Okay. What am I looking for? Oh, I was going to bring up Stellarium and figure out what next. So I'll switch back to the computer view. So Stellarium, do I have the, okay, I have it set to the current time. And really, is that right? Is it already? Is the North American Nebula already? Oh, right. I figured out yesterday that I need to redo this horizon because it's probably not completely visible yet. But actually, you know what? I can try. Maybe I do go back to the bubble nebula for this one. Although that seems, wait a second. Is that right? No, I guess that's strange. I must have, maybe I was looking at the wrong thing. But yeah, let's try the bubble nebula just for grins for the non-automated one. So I'm gonna stop this. Oh, it's 36 minutes. That's not too bad. And this one has a pretty solid wireless, but it's on another network, of course. Let's look at. So we've got Bubble Nebula. I'm just looking at other things kind of in the history on this one. Fireworks. That one was kind of a challenging one. Like it sounds like it's spectacular, but it's really kind of not that bright of an object. It's got low surface brightness. That it's a galaxy, fireworks galaxy. So let's go to bubble, and maybe that'll work this time. So for Wiley site, was it just one of the first item, or do you think all of them are off now? So this is running, and the multiple off. Yeah, I need to talk to you about that. Yeah, so since Widely Site's been helping with, or contributing to this front end, I think maybe it's something we should look at this week to kind of improve the usability of that part of it. Because there's obviously something finicky about the coordinates that we're kind of not missing, but like there's something that kind of off. So okay, it says it's identifying. But yeah, I was thinking this live stream I might run it till midnight. You know, maybe for another half hour and call it a night. So so let's see. Still identifying. And actually, what I might do is I'm going to do that. Let me see if the North American Nebula, if the North American Nebula is visible, I might kick off a quick 4-panel mosaic, like very quick, like a few minutes per frame, just so we can see it. So this, when did I feel like I just went through this. I went through this exercise earlier, but so the bubble nebula is out. It is not. It's obstructed right now. So funnel cloud, swimming alligator. Which one is this one? Elephant's trunk. The problem is when last time I tried the elephant's trunk, it wasn't very. It's like it's a low surface brightness thing. Although the one thing, something that's near the North American Nebula that I was able to get some good good exposures of was over here. Like I basically looked for the inchworm cluster, and then it's kind of in this H alpha region. So I'm going to go look at that on the manual one. But see, this is an example, a really good example of where the mosaic mode would be great to kind of cover this. Well, you can't see it because I've got it here, to cover this kind of H alpha region. And it was NGC 6910. And yeah, I've done elephant's trunk. That did not work. Oh, and then I did that the other day. Oh, nice. Setting up the Seestar with the Crescent Nebula, getting a huge amount of data on it with friends. That's great. So you're gonna kind of combine it all and create a real that would be neat. And here's the elephant's trunk. It looks better in SHO. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, so the it would be cool to see that the crescent like with a lot of data. That would be neat. Okay, so this ended up kind of this ended up working, or it ended up, again, this is the non you can see it the cluster is in the middle, but what I did last time, I did this target a few days ago. I kind of moved it a little bit so I could try to get more of the H alpha region here. And so I'm going to move it. And then I'll just start exposing, or start the exposure. But yeah, the automation, like I say, it's a bit rough. But to be fair, that web interface is still less rough than doing it through the API. And the API, before the API, it wasn't even possible to do some of this stuff. So so it's an improvement. It's all building on each other, these different things. So that's going to kick off. And so that should start getting data. And I'll probably let that one run for the rest of the evening. And then I want to see how the Crescent Nebula is doing. Okay. So now it's up to, okay. Going to use Astro Mosaic for site. What coordinates were you using? The stellarium coordinates or the and those were different? See, I don't there's something weird going on. Yeah, stellarium. I wonder if it's the decimal coordinates that are messed up, which doesn't make sense, but so let's look at that. So it's 300, it's claiming the right ascension is 305 degrees or 306 degrees. So let me go, and that's for this NGC. Okay. Huh. So this claims it's 305 degrees. So if I go pick, if I turn off decimal degrees, was it here? Nope. It was in the other one. Pretty sure it was the other one. No, it was here. Decimal degrees. So now it says it's 20 hours. 20 hours. Let me bring up a calculator here. Not a calculator, but a astronomical calculator. Let me bring up the link you sent me. Let me see, move to there. So that and 20 hours, oops. Is that right? 20-hour, 24-minute, 1.38. That makes no... Oh. Yeah, that's not what I was looking for. Oh. Wait a second. Huh. Let me look at what it claims it was moving to. Right ascension and declination. I wonder. Yeah, I have a theory about that, but I'm not going to spend time on the stream trying to figure that out, but I think I have thoughts. So let's go back to this and see where this is. Is it actually, wait, did I not actually start imaging? No, I was imaging this one. Wasn't I? I thought I was imaging this one. Maybe I wasn't. Oh. Oh, did it just stop? Oh, because it was running as part of a schedule, it stopped after 15 minutes. I outsmarted myself. I was like thinking I was running this one manually, but sorry, this one manually. I thought I was running it manually, but it's like it had stopped imaging, and it's because it ran for 15 minutes and then and got 8 minutes of data and stopped. So that is good. Now we can move on to I'm going to go, I'm not going to enter the degrees. And remember, at the beginning I said you can pick, you can just tell it -1 degree, and it'll just use the coordinates that it's, what it's already pointing at. I'm going to do that. Let's talk about that Wiley site. I have thoughts. Okay, so let me go. I'm going to just get this real quick and go. I'm going to try. Well, first, let's look at Stellarium. I want to go ahead and try to go to the NGC, to the North American Nebula. And supposedly, so let's just go to it. And what I was going to do is kick off maybe a 1-hour mosaic. And so each panel will run for 15 minutes, so we can see it switching. Yeah, I think we can do that. I think we can do the same thing. Wiley site. Let me see. Okay, so let's go look at Sky Atlas. Go, and like I say, I'm going to just kind of go manually to it. And I'm going to go North American Nebula and go. And so we'll see. We'll see if I can actually see the North American Nebula. And then if it is in the field of view, I'm going to do just a brief exposure. If it looks like there's no obstructions, I'm going to kick off a mosaic. See, that's the great thing about Python. There is modules for literally just about everything. But before you integrate that, I want to talk to you about how we might do that, how to best do that, because I have some I'd kind of been thinking about that earlier today because I wasn't able to look at the code. I mean, that'll definitely be after we get the pull request in, but I think that might be the next thing to tackle. Okay, so I have it pointed. I am going to, as soon as the preview shows up, or I'll just go ahead and start exposing the image. And hopefully this will, yeah, it must have finally calibrated correctly because it's going directly to the photo, the photo stage. Okay, it got 10 seconds, which is encouraging. Now if it would just load, which again is a what do you call it, a symptom of the network. So the other thing about this kind of automation, and again, if you were watching yesterday, I mentioned this, so apologies in advance, but it okay, I'm going to let it run for a little bit. It does look like there's no obstruction, so I think we're good there. So the automation will kind of move it from target to target, but if you want to monitor what it's doing, you have to have the app connected. I haven't yet figured out how to pull the live stacked images. There's a way you can, it's pretty straightforward to pull all the raw subframes off, but I want to kind of, like basically what the app does, where it's grabbing kind of the pre-stacked or the incremental stack. I want to be able to do that. But for right now, you have to use the app. So, yeah, so I think this is working. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kick off another mosaic. But again, I'm not going to enter the coordinates. I'm going to do a one-shot mosaic. And let me see if I still have a schedule here. So the scheduler stopped because it ran through this schedule. And when I go to the API and kick off this create schedule, and it basically clears out the schedule. So the scheduler is turned off. I'm going to go to mosaic mode, and I'm going to call this NGC 7000 2x2, which is what I called it yesterday. And I'm just going to, basically by putting right ascension of -1, it completely ignores right ascension. I'm going to do 20% panel overlap, which is probably too little, but I'm going to do it again. That's what I did yesterday. Total session time of 3,600 seconds or an hour. Gain of 80. I'm not going to pick autofocus, and I'm going to use the light pollution filter. And so I'm going to submit this. Now it's scheduled, but the scheduler isn't running. So again, this literally was written on Saturday, some fixes today. And so, yeah, I think it's going to hopefully I want to rapidly iterate on this, especially with Wiley Site's help. So yeah, let me look at the shell here, and you can see, and let's see where it's pointing. And you can see it was pointed over here, and now it kind of shifted over here, and so it's taken a photo. And has it actually? Yep, it's starting to get data. So basically, it's going to do a 4-panel mosaic, but only 15 minutes a panel. Yesterday, I had it scheduled an hour per panel. It ended up getting like 30, 40 minutes. So with the 15 minutes per panel, I expect to maybe get 7, 10 to 10 minutes, hopefully, per panel, but you'll be able to see it kind of going through. So the next panel it'll go to the next panel in about 15 minutes, just under 15 minutes. So we'll put a pin in that. And I'm going to go back to my multi-view so we can kind of look at the state of everything. I'm going to kind of get these out of the way. Actually, let me bring that back. And there we go. So it's up there, but off screen. I'm going to take another sip of water. It's been, we had some weather come through, and it's definitely made it drier, and so I'm feeling it today. But yeah, if you haven't liked the stream, please like it, because it helps. Especially it'll help if you want to watch future streams. YouTube takes that as kind of a sign that you want to see more of them. And also, thank you for joining me on this Sunday evening while I kind of experiment around with Seestar automation. But you can start seeing some of the H alpha. I mean, it's subtle. I mean, I'm in a terribly light polluted area, but you can start seeing some of it. Oh, yeah. Hold on. Sorry, I'm just typing something. What do you call it? The manual. Let's see. This is something I'm messaging messaging offline. Let's see. And what else? And bad thing. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, if you get 50% of the objects. Yeah, I mean, cuz like especially if I mean, your schedule was going through like past 4 in the morning or till 4 in the morning. So like you can go to bed and the thing will shut itself down, and then you can just check it out in the morning without having to stay up all night, kind of going from target to target, which is typically what you end up having to do with these. Now, did I? Yeah, maybe this is okay. I'm just going to keep running this one. I think I ended up having to take a photo of this, the one on this on the phone here, to start getting some nebulosity because it was kind of faint. Yeah, I'm having the same issue. My horizon is not exactly perfect. It's off by a few degrees in several directions, and that is a significant amount. And it ends up, being significant. And but it's still a vast improvement over where I had been with the with Stellarium, where I can actually now get a better handle on where things are. Yeah, so you can see here it's definitely starting to get some nebulosity in the North American Nebula, but it's so it's doing this panel first, and then I think another 10 minutes it'll go to the next panel and it'll go down, and then I think it'll do this and then this. like we figured out what it was doing yesterday, but I'm going to keep it on this view because then we can watch it kind of start moving on its own, which is pretty cool. Um, let us see. Um, let us see. So this one is getting close. This one is running. Like I say, I'll probably, once it goes to the second panel, in a few minutes, I'll let it run for a bit, and then I'll probably shut the stream for the evening. Um, and I'll just let the mosaic kind of run. But next week, let me look at Astrospheric, what it's saying. Like it's saying, well, it's not saying anything. Web pages don't necessarily talk, hopefully. M62 was being getting into a tree. I need to figure out which one it is and trim it. Yeah, priorities. The tree is getting in the way of your observing. Yeah, it looks like it potentially might be clear here tonight. I'm not sure that it looks like there's sporadic cloud cover, which can just be frustrating. But I might try it because it like past midnight. But I don't know if I'll do a YouTube stream. I might do it as a fully Twitch stream, just as an experiment. Plus, that'll give me a chance to kind of get that set up the way I want to get it set up, because like I can bring these, like the YouTube chat on screen, and I don't have a comparable way of doing that with Twitch, but I might just do a stream overlay like a lot of people do, or chat overlay where they have the kind of the chat on screen, but I'm not 100% sure where I'm going to put that. So I need to look at that some more, and maybe by doing a dedicated Twitch stream, I'll be able to figure that out. And so here we go. We've got, yeah, and so Tuesday Tuesday might Tuesday might be doable too. Wednesday looks not. So, yeah, I'm not sure if I'll have any live observing opportunities next weekend. But one thing I do want to try is, once there's been some changes made, updates made to the app, I want to go ahead and show kind of the improvements. But that's, I might end up doing that in a standalone video instead of on a stream, just to have it out there a little bit more concise. Let me see. So this one of kind of that HA region with this open cluster at the top is up to almost 14 minutes now. It's at 14 minutes. So that's good. That's making progress. And I think we've got a few more minutes until maybe 5 minutes, or any minute now, between now and maybe 5 minutes from now. The panel on this mosaic will be done, and it'll move to the next panel. So I'm going to quickly bring up the shell so I can kind of see what's going on with that. Yeah, so what else? What else are we doing? Just closing out a couple of things. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, it's yeah, like I say, I might not be doing a live stream tomorrow night on YouTube, but I'll probably do it on Twitch. Maybe I'll do it on Rumble. Why not? um, let's see. I don't even know if they do. I think they do live streaming. Uh, what else? Um, yeah. So that is running, and we are getting closer. Oh, okay. Looks like you're potentially clear through Thursday. That would be cool. But I don't know that I am. I might not be. Um, let's see. Why isn't it? Okay, finally went. I think I was pushing the button repeatedly. Um, yeah. Let's see. Yeah, okay. Um, let me see. Let me see. Hold on. Let me pop out this again. Um, what in the world did I just do? Okay, I know what I did. Thursday after midnight looks dicey. Yeah, I think it'll get dicier here sooner. And even then it's a lot of times they'll claim it's going to be good, but it doesn't. It's not. Um all right. We are getting close to the next step. And yeah, let's see. It should be running. Just kind of, yeah, maybe in a minute or two. Um, and then yeah, if that looks good, I'm gonna, yeah, we will we will call it a night then. So let me check some chat. Yep. What else? Okay. We are getting closer. And so you'll be able to tell when this starts moving that it's actually kind of going to the next panel. And yep. And any moment. Yeah, the suspense need kind of a drum roll or something. But it is should be shortly. I mean, I didn't schedule it for a time, so I don't know exactly. I don't remember exactly when it started. But it wasn't because yeah, I started it immediately. Um, and up there it goes. I see in this window off screen. Yep. And so you can see how uh, it's kind of moving down and starting the next exposure. And it said the plate solve and the go-to succeeded. And now it's starting to run the exposure. And yeah, so just waiting for it to get the first frames back. And it got some time. It's got 10 seconds. So that means it successfully got the first frame. And now it's got a second frame. So yeah, so it was up here and then it moved down to do the second panel. And so it's going to keep doing that in another 45 minutes. It'll be completely done. And I didn't schedule any kind of stop or shutdown event, but so it'll just keep running and until I shut it down. But speaking of shutting down, I think I'm going to call this stream done. I'm going to call it an evening. Yeah, this was just going to be a quick stream to kind of give a quick overview of the automation with the Seestar. It's still a bit rough, but I think it's going to improve pretty quickly in the upcoming days and weeks. So stay tuned for more on that. And yeah, I think that is all I'm going to do for tonight. Last night was kind of a long night, so I need to kind of get some sleep tonight. So thanks for joining, and like and subscribe, and clear skies to y'all. To y'all, to you all. Thank you. Thanks.